Hi there, everyone in the Me community. I'm really excited today to introduce you to Angus Brown, who is the founder of Arepa Nootropics, which he will explain to you what nootropics means. And it's also known as brain food. And as we all know, we need a bit of that stuff because, especially with once you pass 40 with symptoms like brain fog, memory retention loss. It's not loss, but you can forget things like I just did then, and fatigue, and probably various other things because it's so packed with antioxidants. That's brilliant for your overall well-being anyway. And it's really exciting because we feel there's a little bit of synergy there as well, because we both use Enzogenol, which is from the New Zealand pine bark radiata trees. And we use it in 55 plus to help with your brain as well. So we'll probably talk a little bit about Enzogenol and why Angus chose to use that as well. So hi, Angus. Thank you for being with us.
Hi, kia ora, Jennifer. How are you?
Great. Thank you. How are you? You're very busy. You were just telling me you're going into 100 countdowns tomorrow.
Yeah, it's been a busy week. We're growing as a company, and we've been in a lot of the main New World supermarkets and all of your amazing. We're quite lucky here in New Zealand with all the amazing, smaller supermarket chains like Farrows and Huckleberries and Common Sense Organic. So we've been in them for a number of months, and now our progression has taken us to heading into 106 new countdown supermarkets. So that all happens tomorrow, actually. So it's a big day. And I also become an uncle tomorrow, so it's a really big day.
Oh, wow. Things are moving for you. Congratulations.
Yep. Thank you.
We have Australia as well. Are you in Australia?
Yep. So we launched our online store during COVID, and so that's now live. So we're able to ship products using local Australian shipping rates to consumers in Australia, and so that's live as of last month, and it seems to be ticking along nicely, which is good. It's an interesting time out there, though. We were planning on launching into the States basically this month as well, but I think we'll give that a few more months before we decide what to do there.
Yeah, it's going in waves. And are you able to ship into Victoria at the moment now that they've had to go back into a strict lockdown, unfortunately?
Yeah, we are an essential service, and so it's providing health. And I'm pretty sure our logistics provider are able to still deliver to homes. So I think, but might need to check up on that. But we haven't had any red flags come our way just yet. We were, during lockdown here in New Zealand, we were able to ship direct to homes here in New Zealand. And we have various contact tracing and protocols in place for response to COVID.
Okay, that's great. So tell us about Arepa, and maybe define nootropics as I just promised you would do.
Yeah, cool. So Arepa is Te Reo Māori for alpha, as in the alpha brainwave, and alpha brainwaves relate and deemed by psychologists as the state of flow, which is kind of effortless alertness, or what people would call, the zone. And so when we initially developed this product, we wanted it to help to get people into this state of flow so they could perform at their best. We worked with a world-renowned neuroscientist, Professor Andrew Scholey, over a number of years to develop a formula that could help increase people's mental performance under moments of pressure and stress, but at the same time keep them calm and thinking clear under those moments as well. And what we were finding in the market was that we're saturating ourselves with caffeine, and although caffeine keeps you awake, it actually exasperates your stress, and it's not possibly the healthiest thing to consume regularly. And so we wanted to create something that could keep you sharp, but at the same time reduce stress. And the problem with I guess some sedatives or relaxing agents out there is that they also make you drowsy. So what we've done is essentially combined the best of both worlds without any of the side effects, and develop something that's plant-based, polyphenol rich, made here in New Zealand, and contains, you know, unique to New Zealand ingredients such as enzogenol. So we've been in kind of research and development for almost 7 years now. $500,000 has been spent on clinical studies. We have 2 patents, and really our formula exists to enhance mental clarity under moments of pressure and stress, and then also provide long-term neurological function, neuroprotection benefits through the use of our polyphenol-rich plant-based ingredients. And to define nootropics, so nootropics is a buzzword used by, you know, Silicon Valley CEOs or you know, students at universities. It essentially means compounds that can enhance brain function. And so caffeine is a nootropic, and they range on a spectrum from, you know, natural to pharmaceutical, various side effects or none at all, no science through to a lot of science. Typically they're in a capsule format, and, you know, so Ritalin is a nootropic. Caffeine's a nootropic, and then there are the more, if people have seen the Limitless movie where he takes the smart pill and turns his life around and ends up running for president, that's what it is. They were born out of, you know, Russian fighter pilots taking, or, you know, even in World War II, I think it was, where the Germans were taking amphetamine to help keep them going. That's essentially a nootropic. It's dangerous, but that helps keep them, you know, reduce their mental fatigue. So what we've done is really focused on nootropics that are natural, safe, plant-based, and primarily found here in New Zealand, so that when we grow as a company, we're kind of growing the New Zealand economy and providing people with the best, most possible, you know, brain food out there.
That's fantastic. Go you.
Thanks.
And why did you choose enzogenol?
So we worked with Professor Andrew Scoley, who heads up the Centre for Human Psychopharmacology at Swinburne University in Melbourne. So he's published over 240 peer-reviewed journal articles on the effects of natural compounds and botanicals on brain function. And we gave him a brief, and we said we want a formula that's plant-based, natural, caffeine-free. It can improve mental clarity, reduce mental fatigue, reduce anxiety, reduce stress, and include New Zealand ingredients. You know, what can you do? And so he came back with a 40-page report, and one of those ingredients was enzogenol. And so we pair it with a New Zealand blackcurrant variety that we've isolated and found, and we call Neuroberry. And so Neuroberry, so New Zealand blackcurrants, the reason why we buy, say, blueberries is because of the colour. So New Zealand blackcurrants have got exponentially higher levels of colour than blueberries, and they have exponentially higher levels of vitamin C than any other fruit on this planet. But what we really like about them is the studies done on New Zealand blackcurrant, in particular, is their ability to reduce mental fatigue. And also their ability to increase blood flow and oxygen into the brain. And then what we've found is a unique to New Zealand variety called Neuroberry that has a MAO enzyme inhibitor effect. And the MAO enzyme chews up serotonin and dopamine in the brain and oxidizes. And that's often a precursor to things like dementia, Parkinson's, depression. And so what we've found is that this Neuroberry is inhibiting the same enzyme just as well as some of the leading medications in this space, but naturally, and it's reversible. So we're really excited about that, and we're undergoing clinical research now in populations who have some of these conditions, so that we can actually relate it more specifically to, say, dementia or depression, or and the end goal is we want our brain food, because we think brain food is the I guess the industry or the category that we're in. We want it to be beneficial for people in the short term to perform better, but also beneficial in the long term, so they have a happier and a healthier brain.
It's amazing. What was the impetus for this? It's such a brilliant idea. So what was the impetus?
Yeah, so my last year of high school, I lost a friend to mental health. And then my first job out of university, I was selling V energy drinks and just hated it. And I also lost 2 grandparents to cognitive related illness at that time. And I remember selling, a whole bunch into a corner store and seeing a young girl walk out with a large can of the stuff. And I just thought, I'm not doing any good here, and what does, and I, had seen the success of energy drinks and the massive rise of it. And I thought, why can't, instead of an energy drink, and we're already flooded with too much caffeine in our society, why can't we do a brain drink, and why can't it be natural and healthy and good for you? And why can't it improve your performance the same as caffeine without any of the side effects? And why can't we use New Zealand ingredients? And so I went on about a 7-year journey, undergoing research and working with some of the world's best in neuroscience and food technology. And then I was really lucky. My most recent job, I worked for the New Zealand government in food technology at the Food Bowl, which is a $30 million modular food incubator facility. And so I learned through experience on what it takes to launch, a new high-value food and beverage product for the export market. And I'm really fortunate to learn a lot in that industry and become connected to some amazing researchers that are doing some really cool things with the extracts that we use.
It's quite extraordinary. My 10-minute timer has gone off. I could speak to you forever, but it really is quite extraordinary. You're a game changer.
Thank you. So yeah, I guess we and I guess in the topic of menopause, sharing a similar ingredient and having a number of customers reach out to us to say, hey, I have menopause and my brain fog is lifted and I have less mental fatigue, on Arepa, and so that was really interesting. And it was actually my mum who said, you must do a menopause product, and I was like, what's menopause, initially, and then learning so much about this, this interesting effect that happens and takes place in women, and I think I think our 2 products are very similarly aligned, and I guess we want to open up mental clarity for your world and your community, and really happy to provide this gift pack, and we can look at a relationship as well. So really appreciate having me on, and if you have any last questions, I suppose, or
we really appreciate you coming, sharing this with us, and also you are giving away for our Brain Health Month, our inaugural Brain Health Month. It's a mental wellbeing bundle, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's a brain food pack. It contains a selection of our entire range. It's valued at about over $150, and we are really happy to provide that to your community. And best of luck to the lucky winner there. And essentially, it's a mixture of our superfood smoothie powder, our beverages, our capsules, and our freeze-dried neuroberries that you can munch on like snacks or nuts.
And you will be a lucky winner of that. And we'll have all images, so you'll be able to put a picture to what we're talking about here. So thank you so much, Angus, for your time and joining us.
My pleasure.
It's been really great. It's extraordinary. You're amazing. So we love to watch you take on the world, actually, I believe.
Thank you. Yeah, our goal is to, be New Zealand's version of, say, Red Bull, but on the world stage, but be bigger. 1 in 6 are affected by a neurological concern worldwide, and we want to feed the brain in the modern world using powerful ingredients found here in New Zealand.
Yeah, which is wonderful, because dementia and Alzheimer's are on the rise as well, and dementia's taken over in Australia. I don't have the data for New Zealand, but in Australia it's taken over from heart disease as the number 1 killer of women. So I'm not sure about men, but yeah, so it's big. It's a big deal. So goodbye, community. We will talk to you soon.
Thanks very much. Cheers, Jennifer.